everybody. Thanks for coming to our weekly AA meeting. I'm happy to see everybody here. My name is Angie, and I'm an alcoholic. I have been sober for 25 years. My drug of choice is alcohol. We're going to start today with the Serenity Prayer. I know we usually end with it, but I thought we'd do something a little bit different to get us all centered. So if you would like to join me in saying the Serenity Prayer, you're welcome to. But if you would rather just listen, you're welcome to do that as well. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Thank you for everybody who joined me. Before we get started with sharing, I'm going to read the preamble just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are a self-supporting group through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. AA does not wish to engage in any controversy. We do not endorse or oppose any particular cause. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. With that done, I would like to recognize Charity. This is Charity's first meeting. Hi, Charity. And finally, we will read through the AA promises. If you know the promises and you would like to join in with me, you are welcome to do so. They're up on this board to my left. 1. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. 2. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. 3. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. 4. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. 5. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. 6. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. 7. Self-seeking behaviors will slip away. 8. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. 9. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. 10. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. And last but not least, we will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Thank you all for joining me in reciting the promises. If you were here last week, you might remember Bobby. Bobby is one of our members who has been coming for quite a long time, and he was about halfway through his story of his personal journey when our meeting ended, and so I've asked if Bobby would mind continuing his story for us. So if you wouldn't mind, please turn your attention to Bobby.
So I entered in for treatment, and 1, 2, 3 weeks went by and I felt nothing. I did hear from different people as I watched them that first 2 weeks you sweat and you start to detox. You turn in bed and you continue to sweat, but your body is changing. every night it's all that alcohol that's in your system is leaving your body through your sweat. So it was no fun at all. I just continued to sweat, and I would wake up in the middle of the night not knowing where I was at. Then I would remember I was at the treatment center. I hated it there. I didn't care. But as, the weeks went by, finally, I said something. I told everybody that my name was Bobby. So the first week, I raised my hand, but I was always told no. So at the AA meeting for the treatment center, I met people that were different adults and young people. They were old, men, women, just all the different variety of people. Some felt like they had worse experiences than I did. They were sober for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, even a year, 3 years, 5 years. I mean, there were so many different varieties of people there at the meeting. However, we were still similar in the same way. We were all alcoholics. So finally, when I admitted I couldn't control my life and I was confused, I was committed, and I learned from this process. And 1 month of treatment finally finished, and I realized that when I left, I was nervous about it. I went to a halfway house. This man, he would share his stories with us, and I was involved with them as well. And they did not provide an interpreter. I think they may have overlooked that I needed so I stopped drinking and heavy drinking, and I moved that out of the way. I didn't care anymore. I wanted to go to the meeting. It didn't matter if I had coffee there or not. But everyone sat in the room. It was a 90-day meeting. So that meant that I had to go to 90 meetings in 90 days, and sometimes go to 3 or 4 meetings in a day. And so the leader would present. In the meeting, I felt so safe. I felt like everyone was suffering from the same problem, so I felt very connected with them. I was never tempted. So if I was ever tempted, I went to go to the meeting, and I would read the big book. I would read it. I would just read and read that big book. I would look around, and I would just observe what everybody else was expressing. I felt very safe in the meeting.
I felt safe.
I went to work.
I went to all 3 of them.
So I would go to the meetings, and you know what? That did help me when I went to those meetings. I found a sponsor,
Why I needed help.
and he was the one person that would help me, but I was not satisfied with just one. I wanted 2. There was many, many deaf people out there, and I struggled with finding help and finding a sponsor.
Struggling what to do.
So I would, video relay with them. I would call out. So I had 2 sponsors. So I had one sponsor and then one backup. One was really, really strict, and he was always on me, telling me what I needed to do next. So first step completed, next step I completed, third step completing, then I felt stuck. So the 4th step, since I completed the 3 steps, I went to the 4th step and said to report to a higher God, and I continued with my steps. So 6 months later, after beginning, I started. So it didn't matter. My life was changing. It was improving. It wasn't improving fast, but it was improving. I just began to think again, and if I ever thought about I was connected with those people by drinking. I was disgusted by it.
I didn't want liver disease.
So if I continue to drink,
Cirrhosis of the liver.
I would have some sort of damage to my liver. So this was the right time for me to stop.
So I had to
So that really impacted me if I had continued.
And I didn't want to damage
If I was tempted, yes, I was tempted. I went into the bar, I sat down and I thought about it, but I did end up leaving. That was a very close one. I mean, it was serious. I had to focus on my life. I had to be sober.
It was serious, and I had to have a sober life.
And I continued. It didn't matter if it was alcohol, if it was marijuana. It didn't
matter if I had a difficult life.
Once I woke up and I faced my problems,
Next day, I had to just wake up and face my challenges and stay committed and sober.
I had to figure out what I had to do every day, every year. I had to just continue doing this little by little.
To make peace with all these
It was a little bit of a change at a time. It was not really fast, but it was a little bit at a time. I would continue to go to the meetings.
2 or 3 every day. I would go.
I would meet a deaf person, and then that person would relapse, and then I'd meet another one. They would relapse, but
continued going to these AA meetings.
so many people went to these AA meetings and sponsored. There's very positive aspects about these meetings. If you know, I want you to know that in my life,
I did not want to go back to that old life. I had to put that aside.
back then was just bad, and as I continued to go to the meetings and continue the steps, time after time, little by little, I was improving. Since then, for 2 years, I felt pretty good.
I wasn't.
I felt pretty good, however, I was still tempted. And I had to go to work, I had to worry about my family and my friends. It didn't matter about the world, the pressure, the economy. There's an army, there's wars, there's just so much involved that's affecting me. I was so stressed out. And of course, I have the right not to be tempted and go back to that lifestyle. So the first shot,
With one drink.
I might have died. I'm not for sure if I would die from my first shot, but I do enjoy my life now, and I am practicing sobriety, and it's important to help other people so that I can impact their lives.
The other people that have problems like me that were the same, I want to help those people.
I can remember back when I went to treatment, the people who had helped me, and now it's my turn
It's changed. I'm helping them.
to help other alcoholics with their problems. That's my new connection in life. I would continue being positive. People who are helping me, and I'll help other people with their sobriety.
God helps me. God helps all of us, and then I can help other people.
So there are many things that help me besides the meeting.
Sober people help me to
So I'm clean of drugs, I'm clean of
My life is better.
alcohol.
It's not perfect.
Am I perfect? Not really, but I feel pretty good. I feel okay. I'm heading the right way, in a positive way. Every day goes by and I'm practicing my steps, and I want to thank you for hearing my story.
For hearing my story.
Thank you very much.